Most people think discipline fails when things get hard, but that's not where it breaks. Discipline usually breaks when things become boring. And strange enough, that's also when it finally starts working. Because the work that changes your life rarely feels exciting while you're doing it. It feels repetitive, predictable, almost painfully ordinary. Most people don't quit on the first day. Day one is easy. You feel motivated, focused, disciplined. You wake up early, you start to work out, you open the book. Your brain is excited. There's novelty, energy, possibility. Then something strange happens. The routine doesn't get harder. It just becomes predictable. The same task, the same routine tomorrow. Nothing dramatic happens, no breakthrough moment, no sudden reward. And eventually, the mind starts asking a quiet question. Is this even doing anything? Every disciplined person remembers that moment when the routine stopped feeling exciting and started feeling pointless. Once you notice that pattern, you start seeing it everywhere, even in places you wouldn't expect, like solo leveling, because Sung Jinwoo didn't become powerful through one heroic moment. He followed a system, the same daily quest, the same training, every single day. And that reveals something most people misunderstand about discipline. The behaviors that make you powerful usually feel too boring to keep doing, and the exact point where discipline actually begins. The strange thing about boredom is that it rarely feels like boredom. It feels like something's wrong. You're still doing the work, you train, you study, but the excitement you felt on day one, it's gone. Now the routine feels quiet, ordinary, and your brain starts offering very logical advice. Maybe there's a better method. Maybe you should research more first. Suddenly, quitting doesn't feel like quitting. It feels like a smart decision, and that's the trap. Because boredom disguises itself as logic. That's exactly what happens in solo leveling. When Jinwoo first receives the system, the tasks look almost ridiculous. Push-ups, running, basic strength training, nothing heroic. No legendary battle, just the same routine every single day. At first, it looks meaningless. But the system isn't testing his strength. It's testing whether he can survive something much harder, repetition. This is the moment discipline quietly reveals its trick. The goal was repetition long enough for change to accumulate. But the mind hates slow progress. It wants visible results, which is why the system in that hunter's life was so powerful. It removed the debate. No wondering, no negotiation, just complete the task. And slowly, the weakest hunter in the room stops being weak. Not through one heroic moment, but through hundreds of boring ones. And that's when the first real change begins. If discipline keeps collapsing in your life, remove the drama. Make the task small enough to repeat tomorrow. Then follow one rule. Show up again. The real enemy of discipline isn't pain, it's predictability. Predictability is the same task tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. No fireworks, no sudden transformation, just the same effort repeating itself. Your brain starts craving stimulation. So, it does what human brains do best. It sabotages consistency in very polite ways. Maybe I should start fresh next Monday. Suddenly, you're redesigning your routine for the 7th time this month. Your brain releases more dopamine when something's new, which means starting a routine feels rewarding, but repeating it feels dull, even though repetition is where improvement actually happens. Every discipline journey eventually enters the same strange stage. The excitement disappears, but the results haven't appeared yet. Nothing feels rewarding. Nothing feels important. This is what I call the boring phase. It's the stage where most people quietly disappear. But the people who eventually become disciplined learn one rule: survive the boring phase. At first, the daily system feels strange. Notifications appear every morning. Tasks repeat: push-ups, running, strength drills, again and again. Nothing spectacular happens, but something subtle begins to change. His body adapts, his speed improves, his strength rises, not in one big leap, but in small upgrades, the kind most people overlook. But here's the uncomfortable part. Almost everyone has already experienced the boring phase. Not once, multiple times. Usually somewhere around day 8. For the first few days, everything feels exciting. Then the routine becomes predictable, and slowly the system collapses. Not because you're incapable, but because the work becomes boring before the results appear. And this is where most people misunderstand discipline, because the real advantage isn't motivation, it's a system. Motivation feels powerful right up until Tuesday, but motivation behaves like caffeine. It gives you energy for a while, then it disappears without warning. Suddenly, the same task feels heavier, the same routine feels unrealistic, and your brain quietly starts negotiating. Maybe today can be a rest day, and weeks pass without anything moving. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. You move first. The feeling comes later. Discipline flips the order. Action first, emotion later. And this is exactly what makes the system in solo leveling so powerful. The system never asks Jinwoo how he feels. It doesn't ask if he's motivated. It simply delivers the same notification, daily quest, every day. No negotiation, no debate. Just the same boring tasks repeated again tomorrow. And slowly, those boring repetitions start stacking. His stamina improves, his strength increases, his speed rises. Not dramatically, just consistently. And that's the real advantage of discipline. Not intensity, consistency. Because power doesn't come from exciting effort. It comes from boring effort repeated long enough to compound. Now the system starts working for you. The most dangerous moment in any discipline journey is when nothing seems to be happening. You're still doing the work day after day, but the results, they're quiet. Your body doesn't look different yet. Your skills don't feel impressive yet, and your brain starts wondering if the system is broken. But growth often happens beneath the surface first. Skills improve quietly. Strength builds slowly. Habits form gradually. Then one day, the improvement becomes visible. But by that point, the work has already been happening for weeks. For a long time, Jinwoo's training looks unimpressive, but internally, his stats keep rising. Strength, speed, endurance, small numbers quietly climbing upward, until one day, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Invisible progress is almost always boring. But repetition turns those small upgrades into something powerful. While everyone else is chasing dramatic breakthroughs, the disciplined person is quietly repeating the same system. The real power of discipline isn't what it builds. It's who it turns you into. Most people treat discipline like a temporary project. I'll stay consistent for a few weeks. I'll keep going until I see results. But hidden inside that thinking is a deadline. And when that deadline arrives, the routine collapses because the identity never changed. You were still someone trying to be disciplined, not someone who is disciplined. At the beginning, Jinwoo follows the daily quests because he has to. But over time, something changes. The routine stops being forced. Training becomes normal. And the weakest hunter in the room slowly becomes someone different. Someone who shows up automatically. At first, you force the habit. Then the habit starts shaping you, and eventually, showing up becomes who you are. Discipline rarely looks impressive while it's happening. Quiet repetition. Small tasks repeated longer than most people are willing to tolerate, and that's exactly why it works, because boredom quietly filters out everyone who stops too early. Most people chase excitement, but the people who eventually level up their lives do something strange. They stay. Through the predictable days, through the invisible progress, through the routines that feel painfully ordinary, until one day, those boring actions begin stacking on top of each other. Strength builds, skills sharpen, confidence grows, and people look at the results and assume something dramatic must have happened. But nothing dramatic did. Just someone who kept showing up long after the excitement disappeared. Because the truth about discipline is surprisingly simple. The work that changes your life usually looks too boring to matter. Most people stop right before it starts working. The question is, will you